Many of you have been asking questions about living and traveling full-time as a family.
In this series, we'll answer some of those questions.
Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're Diary of a Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you.
Today, we would like to share what 2 years of experience can give you.
We will recap some newbie expectations and compare them with our actual experience. First off, today Garrett will be
the newbie. And Carolyn will have an experience.
I'm the experience. So when you're approaching this decision, should we go full-time? You have that question in the back of your mind. Why? Why are we doing this? Some newbie whys would be,
you might want a change. You might not be happy with the job that you have, the neighborhood that you live in. You really want to experience more of the U.S. has to offer, but you feel stuck. Next, you might want to get out of debt. Having a mortgage, having car payments and credit card payments really does put a weight on you as a family. And then you might want to be able to teach your kids in a really unforgettable way.
These are some of the things that we used as our why when we were the newbies. There are probably 100 more reasons why some of you are out there thinking, is this for us and our family? So let's tell you what our experience has taught us about our whys. Pretty quickly, we found that the life that you live in a house, you can just translate it right over into you're living in an RV. So to get out of that rut, we kind of created our own motto, and we try our best to live by it. And that is to live life more intentionally. We need to put down those devices and get out of our rut and get outside and explore as a family. When we left our home and our community, we thought, well, we're going to be doing this. We probably won't have too many interactions with others, so we'll heavily rely on our phone calls home to family and friends.
Yeah.
What surprised us was how much community we found on the road. I feel like we have more connections with people on the road than we ever did living in our suburban home.
On our very first trip out as a full-time family, we ended up parking right next to now really good friends of ours that are members of full-time families.
Our kids found lifelong friends that they've connected with several times just by that first experience.
Before we got on the road, we had some concerns that we wanted to address, and we really didn't know what these answers were. First off, what do you do with all the stuff, all the things that you've accumulated over years of living in a house?
And it's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Next, how do you live in a smaller space? Our home was fairly large, and we went and downsized that by, about a third.
Yeah, the concern is real. If you're used to a large space for your family, and then now you don't have as much space for them to play in and live in.
Also, how do you operate one of these RVs? They look so complicated. There's all kinds of stuff. What do you do with your poop? What do you do with water? How do you level a rig? We didn't know any of that when we bought our first rig.
Total newbie.
Last, we had major concerns about booking RV parks and where would we stay? How would we find a place to stay while we traveled?
So what does experience have to offer you after 2 years of traveling on the road? We found out right away that we actually love decluttering. It was so freeing to get rid of stuff and just here, donate that, and here, have this for your garage sale, and presto, we have gotten rid of 8 years of marriage stuff and 3 babies, and it's gone. Something to think about, especially for those of you who have lost a loved one. It's okay to keep several bins of keepsakes and things you aren't ready to part with. Just realize that because of the size of the rig and the lack of storage space, you are going to have some storage options.
We found putting storage with some family was a pretty easy way to just store just a couple boxes. We don't have that many boxes with family, but we have a few things.
So that adjusting to a smaller space, it did take us some time to get used to it. The key is, if you're stir crazy, get out of the rig. Go, experience, stay away from the small space as much as possible, and only come back when you absolutely have to.
Make the outdoors your living room.
So that concern that maybe we won't be able to use our RV properly and we won't be able to figure it out because it's too confusing. Most RV systems are fairly easy to learn, and you know what? YouTube it. If you don't understand, you don't know what's wrong, YouTube it. Plus, you can become a part of some great online communities that can troubleshoot for you, and you'll have those 1 or 2 people that you know you can text at any time and say, hey, I don't know what's going on, you know, our electrical's flickering, what do I do? Here's our expert tip for you. Record your walkthrough. Have the seller go through the rig with you and show you where everything is and how it works, and record it all so that you can play it back when you can't remember. Where is that Blackwater flush? I don't remember. When it comes to finding that perfect place to camp, it really depends on what kind of camping you're doing. For us, a lot of times we are sitting still in one location for up to 3 months. And so we found it fairly easy to find an RV park that will rent to us monthly. Not too difficult. When it comes to finding those spectacular places where you can boondock and just be part of nature, we found that there are quite a few websites and apps that you can use that will make that location finder easier. We use Google, Campendium, Allstays. There's a whole slew of them out there. Find the 1 or 2 that work for you.
Next, check out some commonly asked questions regarding your safety and the safety of your family while on the road. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, live life intentionally.